had to stop out and see minicamp. Last day, I think, I'm pretty sure. I mean, boys are looking good. Very excited for the season ahead. Should be a lot of fun.
This proves the Texans are all in. They had a very special guest stop by the facility. And yes, when there's a face like that in there, it's definitely going to bring a lot more momentum heading into this season. And man, how much would we love to see J.J. Watt back in a Houston Texans jersey? That would be amazing. But he actually stopped at the press, talked to them for a little bit about the team, their success. Will he potentially come back? All the answers and more today on Texans Digest. But first, if you're new to the channel, 77% of you watching right now are not subscribed. The support on the channel has been unbelievable. But if you would, stay up to date on Texans news, hit that sub button. Would really appreciate it. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. But as for J.J. Watt, he's back. And the biggest question right off the bat is, can the Texans win one for him, right? Obviously, the Texans don't have any, not only AFC Championship, but they have never been to a Super Bowl. We all know this. And to even have the opportunity to go to a Super Bowl and win, I think J.J. Watt deserves that ring, whether he's part of the team or not. The biggest issue for this kind of situation is the fact that Watt never really, he said that he doesn't want to go back, right? He's always had that itch. Last year, they kind of mentioned he might come back. But the biggest thing here is the fact that he's an analyst. And take his word for it, he's probably not coming back.
I would say I don't know if it'll ever be settled, honestly. I mean, I'll always think I can do it, which is a problem. Andre and I have talked about that a few times. Like, no matter how long you go, you're like, I got a couple in me. But I definitely, the last 2 years, you could honestly, like you could say, like there's always that 1% in the back of your head. I definitely no longer have that anymore. I'm just comfortable. I'm at peace. We're having our second baby soon, and life is very good. I'm very fortunate.
So as much as I would love to see J.J. Watt back on the Texans and just argue that there is a possibility that he'll be on the team, it's more likely than not he will not likely come back. He's talked to Andre Johnson. It's always that maybe 1% chance. And the funniest thing is, Watt actually talked about how when he retired, he's like, oh, I'm never going to be an analyst. And then he realized, man, I love this game. And now he's an analyst for CBS. So love J.J. Watt. Awesome guy. But honestly, him even being in the presence of just minicamp in general, it's going to fuel everyone to be better, to be looking forward to an awesome season, because that's J.J. Watt. I mean, that is an icon for the Texans, one of the greatest Texans ever, not right next to Andre Johnson. If you remember, J.J. Watt actually did say last year, and this was a funny comment, but being at minicamp, they're like, hey, man, if it's still on the table, why not come on back? But Watt's most likely past this moment. The biggest thing here is last year in 2024, J.J. Watt was asked about potentially the rumors of coming back to Houston, and he said, if the Texans absolutely need me, I'll be back. And DeMeco Ryans, obviously, again, this is from last year, but it's always fun to kind of look at these kinds of situations, because when DeMeco Ryans, especially last year, I need him now, and then that's just funny, right? So looking at the situation, obviously his thoughts have expanded, and most likely he's not going to be needed. And honestly, let me know your thoughts. But if the Texans were to go to a Super Bowl, I would sign J.J. Watt just for that week. And I don't care if he plays in the game or not, but he's getting a Super Bowl ring. I mean, you have to bring him in. But to even be a part of something like J.J. Watt, he's now a Texan. He's now a part of that kind of community. He's once a Texan, always a Texan. So he's now lived in that, and now that's kind of his whole realm. Because honestly, if the Texans win a Super Bowl, not only would I go crazy, but so will J.J. Watt.
There's nothing that would be crazier in this city than a Super Bowl parade. Texas is a football state. Houston is a football town. We've got some incredible other teams here as well. Personally got to enjoy the Astros parades and everything that came with the Astros winning multiple World Series. Would love nothing more than to see the Texans version.
So to see J.J. Watt in the facility, it definitely is uplifting for not only the players, but his thoughts on DeMeco Ryans and just what Will Anderson has been able to do, and Danielle Hunter. This defense is awesome, and as much as it pains us to get rid of JJ, he goes to Arizona. That guy's he's definitely one of the greatest. Awesome. I mean, there's really no words to put it into. But as far as his outlook for the season, realistically, this is a Texans team that people want to play for DeMeco Ryans. And you're talking about J.J. Watt, talking about this team. He made sure that was clear.
Yeah, I would say that there has been nothing that could have changed the trajectory of the organization more than that. Now, obviously, you also have to add the drafting of CJ and Will and the moves that they've made, but none of it happens without DeMeco at the helm. The personality he has, the culture he's built, the knowledge that he has, it's been incredible to watch, and I think that you see players wanting to come here to play for DeMeco Ryans because of who he is and what he's built.
What are the dangers?
So the media had their way, or had a day, I guess, with J.J. Watt. Whenever somebody like a player of that caliber shows their face in the facility, you're going to have some, I wouldn't say special treatment, but you're going to have that just vibe when you walk in the places, because he's done so much for this team and just kind of putting Houston on the map almost. Like, everyone was watching the Texans back in the 2010s for J.J. Watt. Sacks, strip sacks, pick sixes, catching touchdowns. I mean, that was a guy that he put his heart and soul on the line for the game of football. And I mean, the funniest thing is, on draft night, it was definitely not the best night for J.J. Watt, considering all the Texans fans booed him at the draft, but that was soon to be forgotten. But it's nice little touch for the little pumping up the Texans for this season, because J.J. Watt is going to be able to bring this team up. So as far as his thoughts on the team for the season, he definitely believes that this team has a fire underneath them. You saw that clip to start the video. This is going to be a special Houston Texans look. Can't wait to see them this season. The depth chart is by far, this is the best team the Texans have had in a while. Not only the defense being one of the greatest it's been in team history. I mean, that 2014 squad with Cushing, with Watt, with those kinds of guys on the floor, Whitney Merciless, that was a great team. But now, a decade later, this is one of the best defenses all time for this team. And now the offense, CJ Stroud has a chance to prove himself. And third season in the league, I think J.J. Watt talking to Stroud and just being in that kind of vibe, this is going to be the season the Texans go on a run. And I'm not going to say that they're going to be a team that goes to the Super Bowl, but they very well can, and bring back J.J. Watt. Why not? Obviously, it's not going to happen, but I would love to play into that narrative that he's coming back, but clearly he's not. So, franchised all-time sack leader, Ring of Honor member, future Hall of Famer J.J. Watt made his way to minicamp. We'll see if anything else happens coming up in the recent weeks, but you got mandatory minicamps on the way. A lot of other things that are going to be popping up throughout this offseason. I mean, this is the bread and butter, right? You got your training. This is where you're going to figure out the identity of the Texans. But unfortunately, we still have to wait a good 2 months until football actually starts. August will be preseason, but even then, that is not necessarily real football. I want to see week 1 Texans football, so it's going to be a while. But let me know your thoughts on the whole situation with Watt being back. It's definitely going to add some fuel to the fire in terms of wanting to do something, bring home a championship for somebody that never, unfortunately, got to see one. So, Texans first Super Bowl on the way? ? We'll have to wait. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please hit that sub button. Until then, I'm Mike Zanetti. This is Texans Digest. We'll see you in the next video.